Hi everybody, welcome to another Vodacom Sisonke Diski Chat, and it is an absolute pleasure to introduce the legendary Mthethwa, 26 years behind the microphone, giving you everything you've ever wanted when it comes to the commentary of the beautiful game in this country. And right next to him is a man who's up and coming into the game, 8 years behind the microphone, Zulu language commentator in Reggie, Ndlovu, Mthethwa. Guys, it's a pleasure to be with you. I know you saw every match of the season, so this conversation is going to be fascinating as we throw back at some of what's taken place. The awards that just took place as well have been controversial, and I know they don't shy away from controversy. So first of all, how are you? Are you good, Baba?
I'm good, Thomas. Thank you for having us. Look, it was one of those great seasons in football in our country. Controversy will always follow football, drama as well. Tears, not forgetting that. I do believe what you just mentioned now about the awards that just came by. A lot to be spoken about, a lot of controversy as well.
We can't start though until you give us your signature opening. You know, we have to. Those who have not listened to Baba Mthethwa have not been listening to football in South Africa. Give us a little something just to get us warmed up.
How can Vodacom?
Thank you. Reggie, you know, Mthethwa, you're the guy that everybody loves because you give everyone these new, funky, exciting nicknames. And the commentary that you bring is just so vivacious and exciting. What's your view in terms of this season? And also give us a little sample just so that, you know, the people go, oh, now that's the guy, the face, the voice, we can put it together.
Thank you so much for having me, Thomas. And we had a very, very, very good season. It was interesting, the ups and downs, as Baba said, the tears. Obviously, there were tears of joy and also the tears of those who were sad and everything. But looking at the awards also, there's a lot to unpack also, you know. And coming to my signature, usually when I go on air, I always say, Zobona, Zobuga, Zobona, Zobuga, Zobona, Zobuga. This is Sonke Chat.
So now you know, right? Guys, let's start with the question that I know a lot of people have been discussing, and I can't wait for this answer, is when you look at the season that was, and you look at Pirates finishing second and how they did with the cup competitions, did Orlando Pirates do better than the league champions Mamelodi Sundowns, in your opinion? From a football, fan's view, which team had the better season?
Well, I think Pirates had a great season, not even a better season, a great season. Looking at different factors. One is that they had a new coach, firstly. Secondly, looking at the human factor in terms of the fans. For once, you'd see Orlando Stadium packed almost every game, over 10,000 fans. Something that is very unusual for Pirates fans. That is a good sign to show that something good was brewing and happening at Koskama Minzeliskoti. Then you look at the playing performance of the players. Despite having had a number of injuries in the beginning, and where they had new players who would come in and step up and say, we're raising our hands, we are now full-fledged Buccaneers and we can steer the ship to still waters. And that's what they did. And the results started coming in slowly but surely.
Young Balega, the better season is the question.
It's not
which of the two sides, according to football fraternity and the fans, had a better season.
I would say Pirates had a better season
than the league champions.
Yes, league champions. The difference between the two is that the league champions came with that pedigree of being league champions, and that team did not change. They came with a team that has been winning. There was only maybe one or two changes. But Pirates had a wholesale changes within the playing unit. And that is a team that shows that we are stepping up. And stepping up means that we can be better than the champions. We're not champions, but we can play better than the champions. Remember, they did beat the champions in one of the cup games. Though they lost more times to the champions and twice in the league. To me, that doesn't matter. But looking at general outlook of what happened in the season, in terms of how Pirates were 4 or 5 seasons ago, compared to what Sundowns were, Pirates had a better season.
Reggie, uyamuzwa?
Ngiyamuzwa.
Legend ikhulumile.
Look, Thomas, if you look at Orlando Pirates, the first thing that they did right, look at the signings from the coach. They have a new coach. Now everyone is worried, Uchi, what is Dulce Espanyol going to do? You know, a sweet from Spain that is being eaten by everyone in Orlando. That is why everyone is happy in Orlando. You look at the signings, look at CBC and look at Tapelo Koki. Those were two players who were captains, Kumazulu and also Lamontville Golden Arrows. You look at Goodman Musebe, he's been doing well also with Barok. And Mabem Leta Orlando Pirates. The signings that they did, Orlando Pirates, they showed from the beginning of the season, Guti, this season we're here to fight. And look at the quality that they signed. You look at Munapule Saling. Saling comes to Orlando Pirates where there's no lodge, there's no
Pule.
Saling is under pressure. Why am I saying Saling is under pressure? Because Usaling Usugagu Swallows. Remember, Swallows played AMA playoffs last season. That would have dented his confidence. But look at what he does when he gets to Pirates. He steps up. And looking at the players that are surrounding him, they were like, Saling, how wing?
You see, the two of you so far have given nice answers, but dodged on the first answer of the question. You eventually came right, Baba. Reggie, which of the two sides should feel like they had a better season than the other side?
I would go on and say, looking at the fact that Orlando Pirates won two trophies this season, I would say they had a great season compared to Mamelodi Sundowns. Now, one would come on and say, but Mamelodi Sundowns won the championship with 7 games to go
by miles. Broke every,
1.5 months to
broke every record that the PSL had. You know, the most points that we've ever seen, the most clean sheets, the most wins in a row, the most. So this is why I'm shocked, Witty. You guys are saying that.
This is a well-oiled machine that's been.
It's not their fault that they're well-oiled. You're making it sound like well-oiled. You're holding it against them that they are oiled.
No, we're not. Credit must go to Mamelodi Sundowns. They've been working hard and they keep on working hard each and every season. But let's look at what Orlando Pirates did this season. I mean, from a team that last season no one expected, with this season they can come out and do what they did. So that's why I'm saying, according to me, Orlando Pirates had a better season than.
So why not just give them most improved? Yabana the Nipayani, most improved team of the year. Last season
Thomas,
they finished in 6th position. They added 10 points this season in terms of what they did last season. No trophies last season, 2 this season. Maybe that
Thomas,
to make
did
the neutrals happy.
Did Pirates get 50 points last season?
No.
The season before?
No.
No.
That's what I'm saying, improving.
I'm trying to answer. I'm trying to get to your answer. They were the second team to get to 50 points after Sundowns. Much better than what they had. So I'm trying to answer a question where if they had a better season or not compared to Sundowns. Sundowns had all the stars in the team. They're all stars, believe you me. We can say whatever we want. They're stars, all of them. And Pirates had to mix and match some here and there. Okay? Whereby Reggie spoke about Koki coming in, CBC coming in, Nda coming in. And when Nda got injured, you had these two who came in and beautiful cover up, and they played until the end of the season without Nda, okay, and gave Pirates what? Second position, conceding second less goals, unlike other teams that conceded a lot of goals. No, some teams in the PSL.
No, call name and shame. That's why we're here. So our other teams, I look at the
an example. If you look at the bottom, you've got Marumo Gallant. Yes. They conceded a lot of goals. Maritzburg conceded a lot of goals. Swallows conceded a lot of goals. Okay, but then you go up in the top 5. You had Kaizer Chiefs, who had really conceded a lot of goals.
33.
They conceded 33 goals.
Compared to them and the relegated team, Chiefs and them almost have the same number of conceded goals.
I looked at that, you know that, because when you said that before.
What does it tell you?
Chiefs conceded 33 goals in the league.
And
Marumo Gallants conceded 34.
See.
One difference.
You see what I'm saying?
And defensively, in terms of losses, Marumo lost 11 games in this season. Chiefs?
12.
So what is being said here? Because now you've gone outside to we were talking there, but what are you actually saying this? Because now you're bringing
I'm trying to say to you, Pirates having considered less goals than other teams in the top 5 besides Sundowns. Yes, they had a better season. Yes, Sundowns won the league for 6th time, given, okay? But they had a team that has been continuously been there, okay? Who was the difference in Sundowns team this season? Who?
Well, you
Only
have to-
Mailula only became the difference when Shalulile got injured. Besides that, everybody else was there last season. It can be Mkhulise, it could be Mayema, it could. Tebogo Mokoena stepped up, yes.
Nandile now not playing
You
anymore.
see what I'm
Tebogo
saying?
stepping
But
up.
still, Tebogo Mokoena came from SuperSport, being a star already.
Mbule-
Yes, he was converted.
Sipho Mbule also stepping into that starting
Yes, he
lineup.
was converted from offensive to defensive. But still, Mokoena is actually the catalyst in that Sundowns team. He opens up doors for Mahema, opens up doors for Modiba, and even on the right as well. And then we have a national number 10 now in somebody who has been changed to become a national number 10, which is Mbule. I mean, he was a revelation late in the season. But compared to Pirates, was there anyone who was revealed late in the season besides Ratomo? None. Pirates has been playing as a unit like that, but with new players. Imagine what they would do next year after gelling so well this season.
Of course, he started to come into the conversation, guys. So let's look at that. Kaizer Chiefs' season this season, finishing 5th position. When they look at the two clubs that we were just talking about, Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs, why did their season not work out like they would have hoped, where they would have been more competitive?
I think first things first, if you look at Coach Atazwane, he was more under pressure compared to all the other coaches, because this is a coach who finished the 2 previous seasons having taken over from the other coaches.
Caretaker.
Yes, who happened to leave the team. Now, there's an introduction of young players. These players, he worked with them with development. Now it's the time for him to decide, do I trust my players in Sugan development, deep end, or do I protect those players and introduce them slowly but surely? Hence the introduction of Tutuzi Shabalala, slowly but surely, the introduction of Uzwane, slowly but surely. But looking at the senior players, they signed Yusuf Mart from Skukune, he was a captain. They signed Zita Kwinika from Stellenbosch, he was also a leader there, captain. You look at Edmundson Dove, coming all the way from Cape Town City. Now, squad rotation for me, I feel his squad rotation did not work well for him. He took time at some point to rotate his players, but understandably so, it's his first season.
Yeah, rotation,
He's still finding his,
that's a
his
debate.
feet.
That's a debate. What's rotation? Why not just play the same starting lineup every week?
The problem when you
The
play,
best 11.
Yeah, the
or
problem,
rotate a line and just in here for because I have it.
No. The problem is, Thomas, when you play the same lineup and the results are not coming, it means you have to fix some.
So you wanted him to make changes, not just rotate. Because rotate can just mean Nigezo Mundi chancing for the sake of a chance.
Exactly.
You were not happy with the lineup that was playing?
Not the entire lineup, hence I'm saying squad rotation here and there, just to give other people a chance. At most, they won like 2 games in a row. They would win 2 games in a row, and then people would be like, okay, yeah, and then at some point, whether they lose or draw. So if you look at the pressure, it is that pressure, who do I go with all the way, and who do I give a chance?
Reggie, coaching Kaizer Chiefs is pressure. It's given. He's a former player. You seem to make pressure an excuse.
Not really, but even though there was pressure, but I'm not saying pressure was an excuse for the entire season. I think for him, the way he played his cards, he needs to sit down and review the season. For example, he started the season with Bruce Vuma in goals.
Yes.
He changed Bruce Vuma, Wabusa, Brandon Peterson, gave Itumele Nkune a chance.
I say brave, coach.
And then,
I say if I'm not happy, brave.
Yes.
Coach, change. I'm not happy.
That's
Not
where I'm going. Even Kuma on-field players, change players. Yeah. Because if results are not forthcoming, then give other people a chance.
I tend to agree with Reggie somewhere, but my only concern was you have a player like Nange. He's not injured. Oh, he was injured, then recuperated, but he's not playing. Then
Cole Alexander, same situation.
Cole Alexander, same story. Then Shini gets injured. Okay, then you sell Blom. Utembeni. You see, Utembeni. That's where the rotation comes in. Okay, let me try and see if I can rotate whoever has not been playing or playing well, and see if I can leave them out and bring other people. But you still have this Nange person.
But the beginning of the season for Chiefs was where the problem really started. They were conceding
A lot of goals.
a massive number of goals. There was just no combination that seemed to work at Chiefs in that back four.
Was it combination play, or was it because maybe Atazan was still trying to understand his players, or was it their combination play was not at its best because they didn't know one another? Is
I'm
it
going to
the
ask
question?
you, we can understand that those are the issues. Did it come right by the end of the season?
No.
It never came
No,
right?
it never came right.
I sanganang.
Yeah, because at the same time, you play Mart and Sithebe at the same time. That could be a problem somewhere. Because now we don't know, is Mart the playmaker, or is Mart the defensive midfielder? Is Sithebe the playmaker or the defensive midfielder?
Are you guys really saying 37 games into the season, by the end of that season, 37 games, all competitions, Chiefs were still not a cohesive unit that you understood?
Look, if you want to win games, most coaches will tell you that you need to fix your back four first before you move forward. Now, last season, you had a Ndlovu Mlambo, who was fetched all the way from Swallows. That previous season, he was the defender of the season. He gets there at Chiefs, he plays, he does well. But now when the season starts, you have fetched Zita Kwinika. Understandably so, because he's got leadership qualities.
And Dove.
And Edmilson Dove also. Now, you need to try and work at how do you fuse them? You know, at some point, have Ngezana and Ndlovu, have Kwinika and Ndlovu, have Edmilson Dove and Ngezana.
Still have Solomons as well.
You still have Solomons on the right, and also you have Abu Mashia and Abu on the left.
Frosler.
Yes, Abu Frosler. Now, try and find your back four first before you can move forward, because once you know how to protect your goals, then it becomes easy for you to say, you know what, I've closed shop, I'm no longer conceding, let me just play and move forward and see how I get goals.
Never got
And
it.
that was never the case. Look at how many goals they conceded. That shows you that the back four did not gel. One, secondly, were they the right players to play for Chiefs? If I go back, Chiefs had some of the best defenders in time. Very quickly, if you go back to the 70s, you had Ryder Mofokeng, you had Buluhoko, and then later you had Esther Sikwani, and then later you had Jimmy Chube, and then you had there's a player I used to love at Kaizer Chiefs.
Coming through the generation.
Asina Mali, Jackie Masike, and Lucky Staliano, and we had Jingles Pereira. Chiefs always had some of the
Howard Freeze,
Howard Freeze,
Neil Tovey,
Mohammed,
as you coming and coming and coming.
Mohammed Osep.
Yeah.
Then you go and then ask yourself, what went wrong? Chiefs always had some of the best defenders, even goalkeeping. Chiefs always had the best defenders.
So you're speaking to leadership there.
Yeah.
That's that leader in that defense.
Yeah,
Those were massive leaders.
Remember when you had Manyati and Triple K? Ne? Then you had a goalkeeper in Botende Eshele, leader at the back. Did Chiefs have that leader? That's where what you said earlier about having a leader, and a brave leader comes in. Who? Kune. But did everything fall into place the way they wanted?
Who would you like to put out their hand? Who do you think, when we throw forward to next season, because I'm going to stay with this Chiefs conversation for a while, needs to put up their hand in that defensive setup for Kaizer Chiefs and say, leadership, I'm going to be that guy? And what kept them from doing it this season?
I think looking at the goalposts, you have a Bruce Vuma who went to the Africa Cup of Nations with Bafana Bafana at some point in Egypt, of which I believe he learned a lot there. You have a well-experienced Itumeleng Khune, of which for me, I still think Itumeleng Khune still has something in him.
Would he start for you?
He would.
He'd be your number one for Kaizer Chiefs.
For me, I would throw him in there because...
Going forward next season?
Next season, yes. I would start the season with him because I believe the leadership qualities that he has. If you look at the goals that they conceded this season, some of the goals were scored Guma near post, especially a free kick against Maritzburg. There are a couple of goals also that was scored Guma near post. It talks to defense, organization inside the box. As a goalkeeper, are you communicating? Are you telling your players what to do and where to cover? And looking at the back four, Ndlovu, who was the defender of the season, Jabulo Ndlovu.
Yeah.
I would throw him there. Obviously, I would have the experienced Sifiso Hlanti. But also, you look at Mashiane, he's been waiting for a chance to at 20 game time. We're happy Mashiane and I also. On the side, Riff Rosler, he has done well for Kaizer Chiefs, both defensively and offensively. Now, one would say primary job first, let's defend first before we attack. So for me, now, Ipek Foyam would be like that.
And it has no bearing on the back four that played the whole season. I find it not level.
Frosla, Ngobo, Kwinika, Hlanti.
Yeah.
You also have Mashiane for Hlanti, you also have Ngezana also. And then Ngimile Mo-Ito and Bruce Buma on the ball, or on the goal post.
I'm interested and I like to see whether some of what you're saying is actually going to transpire. But guys, let's get back to another conversation because we you know, when we have these chats, time runs so quickly. You mentioned a lot of playing staff, and one of the things that would have been interesting this season would have been, you mentioned Bafana, who was called up. There was a point where Hugo Bruce was not calling up players from Kaizer Chiefs.
Maybe in the last game it did not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that takes me again to the awards, right? The PSL Awards recently took place. Huge uproar, huge controversy about coach of the season, player of the season, player of the season. Did the judges get it all right?
Look, it depends first on the coach
I'm
of
not
the
depending.
No, it depends.
Did the judges get it all right?
No, it depends on which award are we talking about. Let's start about the coaches first.
Coach of the okay. And
This coaches thing, it's either we say PSL coach of the season or DSTV Premiership coach of the season.
It's currently, as it stands, and this is important,
You see,
the DSTV Premiership coach of the season. You're only looking at the league, the Premiership.
Then in that case, they got it right.
Yeah.
They got it right.
It's in 90.
Yeah.
On that one, I'm fine.
Yeah.
If it's only the DSTV Premiership, I'm okay.
That's the award.
But if we were saying PSL
Yes.
coach of the season,
Yes.
then I'll give it to the Paris coach.
Marayiko Leo award again.
I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, you should realize that thing, it puts us into a small cocoon.
Yeah.
Whereby we cannot even maneuver because we are inclined to choose only on a certain
The
competition.
league, the Premiership, the longest, the marathon.
I understand. Look, yes, it's a given. The league is 30 games.
Yes.
Right. And then the competitions are like 4 or 5 games.
Yes.
You win it, okay? But let's look at it this way. Yes, they went all the way 30 points, 30 games. Pirates we had to add 30 games and the extra 2 that they played for finals.
So Pirates played 39 games this last season.
You see what I'm saying?
Sundowns had Champions League. So
That's where we're going with that. Why don't we open it up and say PSL? But if you say PSL, you can't include
CAF Champions
CAF Champions League and
not everyone plays there. Not everyone has the opportunity.
It wouldn't be fair.
Yes.
Exactly.
But still, one would say not even top 8. Everyone plays in the top 8.
Yeah, the MTN8 is only for the top.
You
8.
see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, maybe that criteria that they're using to say only look at DSTV Premiership where it's fair for everybody to play the same number of games. Maybe they can keep it that way for that reason. No. He's one team.
PSL, all 3
Mara. For that reason, one can say no. Asidlala amagame alinganayo. Sidlala amagame ahlukile. Abanye bangena top 8, nasingenanga top 8. So how do you judge me ukuthi nabantu abadlala top 8 mina ngadlala top 8? Why ungijaza ngokuthi mina ku-Nedbank mina ngidlala amagame ayi-1 last 32 ngaphuma?
No, that's ubukhona. So that one
ubukhona asiyibali leyo. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I still feel ukuthi the judging on the DSTV Premiership coach of the season for me was right. It was correct. Looking at how Sundowns played.
Because it was the league.
And also he changed a number of things after he was now appointed the ultimate coach at Sundowns. And then he brought in changes and style of play and all that. And look where they are now.
I hear you, and maybe the PSL are watching, and we'll look at that and think maybe, make it all 3 competitions in terms of the coach of the season. That was where you wanted to start. Reggie, you're going to chip in on the next one. You said you wanted to start there, coach of the season.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go next?
Player of the season. No, player of the season. Football player
of the season.
Football player of the season.
Yes.
I still feel that it's done by coaches. I'm not a coach, I'm a commentator. Yes. But I have my voice. Okay.
And a wonderful voice.
A massive voice for that matter. So now, I feel that Mona Saling had a shout, had a big shout in this way. Fine, Timo Mokoena played all 39 games, even if he didn't play all. But
in the league, it was, 37 games Sundowns played, he was involved.
37 actually, yeah.
For the
he
majority.
was involved in most.
Yes.
Yeah. And you look at the consistency, okay? And how he was converted from being a certain player to a certain player. His overall contribution to the team. And then as a coach looks at the technicality of the player.
The tackles one.
The
second last pass.
You see, all those things, the conversion rates.
Yeah.
And all those, the turnover balls that he comes in with.
All of those things.
All those things, the coaches look at that. That's how they give it to him. But we have to come to what did Saling do for Pirates this season? Top goal scorer at Pirates in his first season as a full-fledged Pioneer.
1 goal behind the top goal scorer in the league.
11. Then you've got played well in the 2 knockout competitions.
Scored in the final of the top 8 competition.
Thank you.
And assist in the other final.
And he knocked out Sundowns alone, one man. One man.
What
like
one man?
Really one man.
I hear all of that.
He killed Sundowns all by himself. You know.
Then 8 assists was the top assist in the league.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. He really had a shout. But because coaches look at different things from what a normal fan would look at, that's where the difference is, not the problem, where the difference is.
So, Team Shomako, what are you saying to the coaches?
I'm saying to the coaches, they need to open up their minds more.
Reggie again over here, because Baba's going into deep water now.
Yeah, no, I think...
Are you coaching? We coaching.
You coach me.
We coach football, we are right.
No, I also feel Gucci, obviously coaches look at different things. You look at Mokoena, number of tackles Abe now this season. Secondary assists and also scoring goals.
Even secondary assist, let's make it clear, because I want to sometimes terminology.
Second ball.
Secondary assist.
Secondary assist. If I pass to Thomas and then Thomas passes
second
to
ball.
So that's second last pass.
Second ball, yeah.
Second last pass before the
turnover ball.
Yes.
Because that often is how Sundown scores, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
He wins the ball, he gives it Kaka net. Wins it Kaka net.
Yeah. But if Ozabu Saling, Monapule Saling, obviously we've said MTN 8, Nedbank Cup, mesmerizing teams, also good league. If you win 2 trophies and you take your team, we be number 2, and they are going to CAF Champions League the following season. This is a new team, if I can put it like that, because they have a new coach. And Uhlanganisa with the experienced players, a new player who gets to Orlando Pirates, a team like Orlando Pirates, which is big, we figure a new player, figure NZJ. For me, personally, I was going to give it to Saling. But I'm not taking anything away from Mokoena, and I'm not taking anything away from Ronan Williams, because if you look at Ronza coming all the way from Supersport to take his jersey with Sundowns, you have a Dennis Onyango, who was also a best goalkeeper in Africa, and Ronan Williams gets there, Utata, I'm a clean sheet, Wabega to another level, a record 18 clean sheets.
Siyabonga, guys, you clarified now. You've given your perspectives. We're running out of time, so let's throw forward. What needs to be done? Let's start with Kaizer Chiefs. If they are going to improve, if they are going to get closer to the top 2 teams in the league this next season.
Coach Atazwane, he had a full season to get to see what Okayama combinations one can work if I put them like this.
Do you see him back in the team? Because that is a question that's being asked. Do you see him? Would you like him to continue with the job that he started?
Look, I think if we are being realistic, in the first season, you are under pressure. The team hasn't won trophies in like, 8 years? You take the team in the first season, you go top 8. It's fair. We understand. Second season, let's put him under pressure and say, okay, give us at least one trophy. There's MTN 8, there's a Carling Knockout Cup, there's Nedbank Cup. At least give the team one trophy. Then in the third season, fight for the league. I think if fans can be patient, obviously people will say, yeah, no, we've been patient for 8 years, we haven't won trophies in 8 years, but look at him individually.
He wasn't there in that 8 years.
Exactly, look at him individually. Gucci, if you are saying you haven't won trophies in 8 years, what about the other coaches that you gave a chance? Did they give you anything? So let's be fair also to Coach Atazwane Gucci. Let's give him an opportunity.
And the changes that you'd like to see him include, in a nutshell, are?
Obviously, a couple of players.
Signed.
Yes.
Improve where? Which department needs it the most?
I think up front they are struggling, because if they are going to rely on Dupree only, then you understand. Because
Saile, Biminimana, they've got those two.
Biminimana is not going. It's not the goal.
He was the top goal scorer this season.
I'm just asking. It's just a question. It's just a question.
Right, but it's interesting and I like it, Reggie. Atazwane is still the man for the job at Kaizer Chiefs.
Yes, I think give him an opportunity.
I agree. I think Atlas should stay. Go back. Kevin Hunt, Stuart Baxter, Solinas,
Mirando,
all of them. Yeah. Okay, the last one to win was Stuart Baxter. Okay, but in the season that followed after Baxter's win, the last win of the league for Chiefs, or any trophy for that matter, I still feel that Atazwane needs to get a chance. The only problem that I had last season was that I don't know if they underestimated Amazulu in the semi-finals of the MTN 8. I don't know. But I feel that it was his chance to play in a regular season final, but it didn't happen. Okay, this season, how is he going to improve on that? Chiefs needs to get firepower. One. They need to get firepower. Midfield, they're fine. Even whether it doesn't matter who they play, but they must have the combinations right. I still feel you cannot play Mart and Sitebe at the same time. Either one is a ball player, or you have that Nange person. I like Nange a lot, and I feel that he's not being given enough a chance to play. Look at Nange from Leopards, Adverts, and then compare with what Chiefs has now.
And with that young blend of players coming through.
Then you've got Zwane. Zwane, I call him Tembala Mohumusha. 325 IS. Born in 1992. Special edition.
I got to figure. He's 20-year-old. Some niggas is in doesn't
Oh, that boy is Zwane IS 25 Tembala Mohumusha, man. Yeah, special edition 1992. Born a Lasha. That boy.
What an endorsement.
That boy.
There's so much promise at Kaizer Chiefs if they make some of the adjustments that you guys are talking about, and we'll see if it happens. Pirates, guys, we're almost out of time. Pirates, the gap is still huge between them and Mamelodi Sundowns. What does Coach Rive need to do in this off-season to be more competitive?
Pirates has the right formula and the right mindset. The only problem that I have with Pirates, they're not winning crucial games, particularly at home.
And crucial games, if you look at it, they lost both Soweto derbies, they lost home and away to Mamelodi Sundowns.
Cheaper.
But those are your neighbors. Yamanama 6 point allow.
Kukuni, the draw against Royal AM, the draw against Richards Bay. For those who are not supposed to happen.
I'm not guaranteeing
No.
If you look at the loss to Iskukune in Polokwane, 3 days before that game, they had left everything at Orlando Stadium against
the 0-0 game against Sundowns. Yes.
So I think it's a matter of weighing ama games. Okay, for this game I'm going all out, and then going to that other game I need to change here and there. But if you're just gonna ban out all the players with games coming in thick and fast, then that's where maybe Uzo strugglisha in some of the games.
At the front, Pirates is doing better this season.
Sounds like there's a bat.
Yeah, no, there's no bat. Yeah. that's been-
Chukamanja,
Chukamanja, he's got a new deal, I heard. That's good. Gives the man confidence, okay? My only question is, Benvino Evanga, he plays 2-3 minutes. Do you still need him there?
Well, next season, we know what he brings. And also, you've got evidence Mahopa who will be back from
The Champions
injury.
League.
He'll be back from injury.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, Ngak will be useful, especially when you
Go
when
to
you have
Champions League.
You have to play across the continent. Yes.
Yes, I agree. But I was just wanted to get clarity on myself. Do we need him there? Or is he going to be a player that we use only when we play in the Champions League? Or what's going to happen?
And the fans though were on his back. Every time he had a game, it was boo, come and sit, substitution.
But the
You know,
coach loves him.
He had a difficult
But
season.
the coach loves him because when he comes in, he just imposes himself. And you need a player like that sometimes. However, having said that, I feel that upfront Pirates, with what they have currently, they can surprise many and go all the way.
So nothing
in
to
the-
fix.
in the
You're right,
Champions
Njay Pagani, you're right.
Upfront.
No, just as a
Upfront
football
for me,
club.
Pirates is good. In the middle, we've got team Ndlovu doing very well. Don't know about Ben Mthethwa currently, if his form still is intact and for him to still continue playing for Pirates. And also, I feel that Mosile, I don't know how far is his injury.
Yeah.
That is a problem. And
I hear all the problems, but what do they need to do to close the gap?
I was going there that if in case Ben Mthethwa doesn't get form quickly, okay, is he going to get playing time? Playing time. Playing time. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So you
Playing
say
time.
Ben is the secret.
No. Whether you Abuya, it doesn't matter. But for me, Ngai because we're talking about midfielders.
Yeah.
So, and then Mosile played well for Pirates. He had his own record of scoring very quickly from Baroka and on debut as well. And then on the left and on the right, in the middle, Pirates is solid. Whatever happens, it's solid. Back, we're one of the best defenders after Mamelodi Sundowns. So I would say it's a matter of the coach consolidating here and here, okay? And attitude. And form will come naturally, if you believe.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, listening to Baba, Pagani Angatai short, it's more mental, more structural, more coach, just get more out of what you have.
For me now, looking at Pagania, just one department, the goalkeeping department. You just add there support for Usipo Chain.
Buthelezi is already
Buthelezi
signed.
is coming from
Buthelezi is
Galaxy.
coming, and then that's it.
For what though? Your keeper can play 30 games all season. He support China did a good season. Why does he need any support?
Paganel say Africa. Paganel say Africa, and Lay Africa, obviously, they need to adapt, they need to adjust.
Well, for Napoleon.
As much as offers or Polar, but in terms of game time, Dala can look and Usipo China has been doing very well, extremely well. There comes a Melusi Buthelezi who was playing week in, week out go TS Galaxy. So we pattern game time. But looking at Ofor in setup back.
Yes, to start all over again.
Yes, build as a figure pumping. And looking at the fact that with UA Africa, you need everyone with Angene, you need everyone mentally, you need everyone the heart, more especially the heart. That's what they need right now.
Champions League.
But other than that, I think squads Orlando Pirates right.
And if the injuries, they overcome those injuries. I mean, I look
They've
here,
got depth.
Ofori, Nda,
They've got
Mosele,
depth.
Loch, Pule, Makopa, those all hardly got game time this season.
Pirates
If they
has
can all
depth.
be fit, it could be a very different season. Is that what you're saying?
Pirates has depth, okay? And even if there are injuries, which is what happened this season, they had massive injuries. But look at where they are. They finished very well, won 2 trophies, despite having all those injuries. That's a sign that if you have good depth, you can have many players, but don't have good players. But Pirates has got lots of players with
good
depth.
Guys, the Vodacom Sesonke Diski Chat is done. I need Valin. I'm not going to. I can't close when you guys are there. Baba, I'll Valin up.
Ke shuka mihlalo matsatsi ke re bona ke bolo mo batla o ja o swabe ha ba o ja o swabe rona ra ema re phutha matsogo ra o shebela re bona wa tli moto wa tli farara ba phela bantu we Vodacom
Mapensela, last word.
Kunjalo ke ngempela mina ngithi nje asina
ke Vodacom
and mongata bakima
Thomas.
Thank you everybody for being with us. It's been a fantastic Vodacom Sisonke Diski Chat. I'm your jersey number 10. See you on the next one.